Alright, I really don't want to do this, but let's do the eye brushes. I don't even know where to start. This is why I know I have a lot of brushes that I can get rid of, but I just haven't because I know it's just going to be so much work to sit here and go through and figure out which ones I want to get rid of and which ones I don't. That's why I have put off decluttering, especially my brushes, for so long. But we're going to do it today. We're going to do it, Katie. I'm going to try to say all the names, but if I forget, please forgive me and feel free to leave me a comment down below. If you'd like to know a type of brush that I forgot to name, I can look it up for you. If I didn't declutter it, that is. All right, this is the Sonia Kashuk number, I want to say 23. This is a fantastic brush. I often use this when I'm doing an all matte look to blend in my matte eyeshadows because it's my favorite. And I also use this for matte eyeshadows when I'm doing live eye swatches. This is the brush that I prefer, so definitely not getting rid of it. These two are both very unique brushes. This is Real Techniques. It's their lash separator, and then this is the Sigma Lash Fan EO4 brush. They're very unique to my collection, as I said. I don't like to get rid of unique brushes for the occasions that I do need them. And these are both great for getting mascara out of, like if I got clumps, these both brush it out very well, but this is also really nice if I'm wanting to do a cut crease and I'm wanting to blend out the concealer for that cut crease. This is really nice. This baby is also not going anywhere, as is this brush. These are both from the same brand. I bought them both at Walgreens, or no, CVS. CVS or Walgreens. I'm trying to remember the brand name. But I bought these probably 5 years ago at this point, and I've never had any problem shedding, never any problem with a loose ferrule. I'm pretty sure they were pretty darn affordable. If they had a name on it, it's long since worn off. I highly recommend this brush line. These are both phenomenal. I always use this one for my brow bone highlight or to set my setting powder, and then this is a great little blending brush, so awesome. Also not going anywhere. These are great for putting shadow on my lid, especially if it's matte. I just use this with the yellow look. Sigma Eye Shading E55 brush, and then this is the Coastal Scents BRC number 2 brush. I'm not sure where I got the Coastal Scents one, maybe in a BoxyCharm, but I like them both, use them both, and you guys know I'm not going to be getting rid of many of these eye brushes because, especially for eye brushes, once you use them once, you really need to clean them before you can use them again with another eyeshadow, unless it's just like, I don't know, a blending brush that you're using a neutral brown with, then I use them more than once. But anyway, all that to say, you really do, I really need a lot. I really like multiples of each type of brush so that I can go longer between washes because ain't nobody got time for that. These are all kind of fluffier blending brushes. This is great for these type of really big brushes, are great for blending, like if I have a color I'm wanting to blend out a little bit more. I like this brush specifically. This one is Mirabella Eye Blender. I bought this off of Facebook. Love it. This one is the Luxie 205 Tapered Blending Brush. Oh, I gotta stay in frame, I'm so sorry. Got this in a BoxyCharm. I really like it. This is the Sigma F40 Tapered Blending Brush. It's not my favorite. I really do wish that this one was like the old, see, this is the Sigma Tapered 40. This is the original version, and then this is what they sell now. I don't know when they like redid their E40 brushes, but I really wish it was like this. I mean, it works. It works for blending, you know, shadow into your crease, but this is so much better. And this one reminds me of the Mirabella one. If you're ever wanting to experience what the F40 brush was like before they changed it, like just see how narrow it is. And I've watched this so many times, so it's not because it's new. Look up the Mirabella Eye Blender brush. They're pretty much dupes for each other. I actually bought this off of a lady off of here on YouTube. She was downsizing her makeup and she had one of the original ones. So I was like, yes, I want to buy it off of you because I want to experience what it was like before they changed it, because I wasn't buying Sigma back then. But anyway, I love these two. And then, you know, the new Sigma at E40, it works. It's just not as good as it used to be. Now that I own it, I totally get why people complained. And these 4 brushes are all pretty similar. I have 2 of the same brush. This is the It Cosmetics Airbrush Blending Crease 105 brush. I recently purchased a new one because I love this one so much. They're a little different. I don't know if you can tell that. I just feel like this is the old one. This is the new one. I feel like this is a little more, it's not as tapered. This is from Morphe. It's the G24. Highly recommend this brush. It reminds me of the It Cosmetics one. I have no idea how much the Morphe one is. I'm assuming it's cheaper, but it's a good dupe for the It Cosmetics one. And then this I just got in a BoxyCharm. It's the Moda Pro BMX 430 crease brush. I really enjoy all of them. They're all very similar. None of them are going anywhere. And then this brush I put down because it was a little different. This is a blending brush, but it's also more of like a pointed blending brush. I think I have a couple more like it, but I do enjoy having this. A little bit fluffier than most of my like pointed eye blending brushes, so I really enjoy having it. Oh, here's another one. I think they're both from Morphe. Yeah, they're both from Morphe and they're both different. This is Morphe. The top is the M412 brush and the bottom is the M330 brush. But I do enjoy them both. I've noticed bristles falling out with both of them. So quality-wise, but they both work. I mean, I feel like with eye brushes, you can get some pretty crappy quality to still blend out your eyeshadow. But they both are nice, and I'm gonna keep them both. All right, some more fluffy blending brushes. I told you guys, I love blending brushes. Fluffy blending brushes. This is from Bdellium Tools 735 brush. I really do like it, and this is one brush that I've held on to over the years. I guess there's another brush. There's a couple brushes in here from Bdellium Tools. But I really do like this brush, and this brush also reminds me of the original Sigma E40 brush, though it's a little bit smaller, but still got that tapered fluffiness to it. It's just a bit tinier around. This is also a very old brush. I don't know how long the lady had it before I bought it off of her, but anyway, this is also an option. I can't remember how much Bdellium Tool brushes are, or this one's particular off the top of my head, but it's a good option for a really fluffy blending brush. Anastasia Beverly Hills, these both came with her palettes. One was the Subculture palette, one was the Modern Renaissance, and I do enjoy these, especially if I go, if I'm going traveling, like visiting home. I do like dual-ended brushes in that instance, because with this brush specifically, both sides I find are good to use. They're not the best quality, but they work. So I really like to hold on to both of these. I'm sorry this is dirty. Oh no, this is chipped. That's why it looks dirty, but it's chipped. The wood has been chipped. Who knows how that happened. So these brushes, one's from Mally, one's from Lorac Cosmetics. They both came with some palette. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I don't reach for these very often, and I feel like they're both, this one's a little more blended. The Mally's a little more blended. It's just not as nice. It feels more stiffer. This one's just a little too sharp. I don't like how sharp it is. I never reach for it. I'm gonna just go ahead and get rid of the Lorac one. I'll keep the Mally one though. I do like the shape and feel of that. That was legit the first brush I'm getting rid of. Okay, just found another blending brush. This is the Wet n Wild Fluffy Blending Brush. Another high recommendation. I feel like I should just keep the E40. So just to show you, this is the E40 brush, and then this is the new ones from Wet n Wild. They're both very fluffy. They both get the job done very well. The only thing with the Sigma, or not the Sigma, the Wet n Wild, is that it stains, so they don't look as pretty, even though this one is clean. But for like, I'm pretty sure this is $1, $2 tops. Great recommendation, and that's not going anywhere. All right, these three brushes also not going anywhere. These two are the small tapered blending brush. These E45, obviously I like it because I purchased the second one. It's really nice for blending a darker color into the outer corner. And then the medium sweeper E54 brush is fantastic for packing on shimmer onto the lid. I love this. This is like one of my preferences. It's always dirty right after I clean it, because if this is clean, this is the brush I reach for. So none of these are going anywhere. Also not going anywhere is the Sigma Buff and Blend E39 brush, and then the It brushes for Ulta Velvet Luxe Effortless Crease 320 brush. They're kind of pretty much similar. I use this specifically for blending in the darkest color into my outer corner and really deepening up the look. It's just really great at blending matte shadows in, so I like them both. This Luxie brush, it's 229 tapered blending brush, is also like those other two I just showed. Great for blending in into the outer corner, and I'm keeping. All right, these brushes I feel like all serve a similar purpose and are similarly shaped. The Morphe is the MB13 brush. The Real Techniques is the base shadow brush. Let me make sure they're all, yep, they're all the base shadow brush. Can you tell I like this brush? I have 3 of them. And then this one's the It brushes for Ulta Airbrush Shadow C4292 brush. They're so hard to read on this silver. Anyway, I really like this also for blending mattes into the crease or deepening up my outer corner, or, you know, whatever the heck I'm doing. Oh, this is an e.l.f. blending brush, very similar to the shape of these. It's basically kind of like a fluffy, smaller fluffy blending brush, but it's pinched at the ferrule, so it gives you more of that precise blend, if you can see. But I love all of these, and they're all always dirty, so I'm keeping them all. These are two relatively new additions to my collection. This is the Essential Crease brush, and then this is the Medium Shadow brush, sorry. I'm gonna keep both because they're new. I'm still exploring this one, and I feel like this will come in handy, and they're new, so I gotta give them a chance. Okay, when it comes to brow brushes, these are the only two I have, so I'm gonna keep them both. This one's from can't talk. This one's from Full Brow, and then this one's from Bodygraphy Pro. I have no idea where I got this one, but they're both good, and I kind of like to have a couple in my collection, and since I only have a couple, I'm gonna keep them both. All right, next we're gonna talk about the e.l.f. Professional Eyeshadow Brush. These are $1, and if you can't tell, I highly recommend them. I don't go to Target often, but when I do, or if I'm at Big Lots, they sell these at Big Lots. If I see one, I always grab a couple extra because these are phenomenal for packing on shimmer shadow onto your lid. I mean, and they probably work well for mattes, but when I want shimmer, when I put in shimmer on my lid, I always reach for these. And with, you know, shimmer, you can only use that brush once because then it has that color on it, and you don't want to reach it for it the next day and mix the colors, ruin your eye look. So I feel like you can never have too many. I have 5, and I probably need a little more because looking at these, I think only one is clean. Like the rest are all dirty. So this is phenomenal. $1 well spent. I think I've had one brush over the years fall apart, but I've had some of these in my collection for a while. I mean, you can tell the different styles on the ferrules. I've purchased them over the years, but I highly recommend these. Best dollar you can spend for eye brushes. I mean, the Sigma one, you know, that I showed you earlier is super nice, but if you're on a budget, these are fantastic. You don't need the Sigma one. All right, next, these are little Sigma Deluxe brushes that you get like free with your order, depending on how big your order is. They always have kind of like a little prize or whatever. So let's see, we have the Eye Shading E55 brush. This is the Eyeliner E05 brush. These two are the E25, oh, I'm not even in frame. E25 brush, and then this one is a small angled F65 brush. I do use these quite a bit. As you can see, I've had this one longer than I've had this one. I love these though. Gonna be keeping both. And then I'm also gonna be keeping the shader brush because I really do like the shader brush. But these two brushes I never reach for, so I am going to pass them along. One's the liner brush, and this is way too fat for my preference for eyeliner. I like very tiny thin little wings, and then this small angled brush. It's just, once again, too fat for me to use for liner, and I just never think about it for my brows. Keeping decluttering. Next I have these brushes. They're both the same Deluxe Crease brush. I like these when I want to use a cream shadow on my lid or a concealer on my eyes before I go in with my eyeshadow, because I don't have to get my finger dirty, and it kind of does this work of my finger. But yeah, so I do like to have these, and they also work great for concealer under your eyes. So I think I'm going to keep one in like my cup for my face brushes and one in my cup for my eye brushes. That way I can use one for concealer and then one for if I want to use it for on my eyes. All right, moving on to unique brushes. I'm not going to get rid of any of these because they're all like, this is the only type I have of it in my collection. This bottom one is the Duo Fiber Blending E41 brush. This one is the Cut Crease E62 brush. This little one is the Precise Lip Line L06 brush. And then this is the Detailed Lip L04 brush. I know these are both lip, but since I'm not very artsy with my lipsticks and whatnot, I use both of these for my eyes. This one I think I've only used once for my eyes because it is pretty, you know, it works if you want to apply liner to your eyes, but it's best for a lip to use on your lips. So, but I do like to hold on to it because if I do want to line my lips, this is fantastic, a tiny little brush. But this works really well to blend my lower lash line. You guys know I have really small little lashes, and if I want to add just a teeny bit of color or deepen it up right at my lash line, I like a little brush like this. And then this is if I feel like cutting the crease, I like to have it. This, as I said, it's unique. I don't have very many brushes like it, so definitely want to keep it. This is another brush like that Sigma brush that I like for packing on shimmer onto the lid. This is Delium Tools again, 777 brush. Really great brush. It's dirty, so yeah, I use it a lot. Gonna keep it. All right, these are all like my really flat little brushes. This is Sigma's concealer F70 brush. This is Real Techniques detail brush. This is Ulta's eyeshadow brush. These are all e.l.f.'s concealer brushes. And then these three were liner brushes that I received, and these two were Maybelline, and this one was L'Oreal's little gel pots. I use all of these, well, all of these I should say. I use all of these to apply my inner corner highlight. I really like a tiny brush so I can get in there and go around my tear duct. And for me, you guys, if you've been following me a while, you guys know I have very sensitive eyes, so it's very important for me not to get eyeshadow into the corner of my eye because it can start my eyes watering. So that's why I like such tiny brushes and go right around my tear duct, and I don't have to worry about aggravating my eyes. And yeah, I'm keeping them all, because you can only use them once, and then, you know, they're dirty and I have to wash them, and you guys know I don't wash brushes much, so even though that's a lot of brushes, I'm keeping them all. And then this brush I'm also keeping because I really do like, once again, for the same thing. I specifically use this more for packing on shimmer or metallic shades onto my eyelid though, but it's a great brush. Okay, two brushes I can get rid of. This is the It Brushes for Ulta Airbrush Crease brush, and then this is the Dome Blending E43 brush. They're just brushes I don't reach for. This one I find awkward and just a little too densely packed to blend my shadow, and this one, I don't know, I just don't like the harsh edges of it, so I'm going to declutter these. Two other brushes I'm going to declutter. This is Sonia Kashuk Tools number 3 brush, and then this is the Airbrush Smoky Liner 125 brush. I just feel like these are a little too pointed, and they actually kind of hurt when I use them on my lower lash line. I don't know, they're just very pointy, and when I'm using them on my lower lash line, this one especially, just kind of hurts. So I just don't enjoy using these. No reason to keep them. These are all like big old shadow brushes, and I love my big shadow brushes, especially for the days when I'm doing minimal eye makeup. I use this to set my concealer really quick and just kind of go all over my eyes with them. These 3 brushes I'm definitely keeping. This one I'm going to get rid of. It's the Wet n Wild. Looks like a, flat concealer brush. It's just a little too, like the bristles aren't tapered enough to use on my eyes. I just don't enjoy it, so I'm going to get rid of that. But these 3 or 4, I can't count, I'm going to keep. This one is a large shader E60 brush. This is the Airbrush number 119. It's an all over shadow brush. I swear I can't read these. This is the Real Techniques 200 brush, and then this is the Wet n Wild, I'm assuming, shadow brush. But yeah, I like having these in my collection, and I only have 4. So I have no idea where I stopped recording, but I only have these handful of more brushes. I'm sorry, you guys are gonna miss a couple brushes. That's a chunk of eyelash, I'm sorry. False eyelash, not mine. Although I feel like pulling mine out. I'm so sorry. I did not see when it stopped recording. I knew it was getting close, and I just totally forgot about it. But we're just gonna move on, and I apologize for the brushes you're gonna miss seeing that I went over in detail that I was not recording. These 2 brushes, this one's from Bourgeois, I think is how you pronounce, and this one's from Eco Tools. These 2 sides I love to use. I use them many times. They're fantastic brushes. I also use this side of the Bourgeois brush for blending out my lower lash line. I really do like it. But as I said, if I can help it, I don't like having dual-sided brushes because I always forget one side. I'm going to keep this Bourgeois brush because when it comes to travel, I do enjoy having a couple dual-sided brushes if I use both sides. This Eco Tools, I never use the liner side, so I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm gonna keep this. So these 2 brushes I'm going to get rid of because this one I believe is a Clé de Peau concealer brush, actually. And then this one is an old brush I got from my mom right when I started doing my eye makeup, but I remember using it for my nails, and so dipping it in acetone. I don't know, I just don't reach for it anymore. It's super old, I don't know what brand. I just never reach for these brushes, so I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm pretty sure this was like a freebie with like a Clé de Peau concealer I got, but I never reached for it. These 2, I'm gonna keep this one because it goes to my Vice palette. If I ever were to sell that palette, I'd wanna make sure I have the brush. This side is also nice. I like this side more for blending out the lower lash line. Then this brush I will get rid of. I never use it. It's the Airbrush Angled Shadow Crease 17 brush. I don't know why. I think it's just because it's fluffy but angled. I never reach for it, so I will get rid of this. So I have no idea what y'all missed, but this is everything I'm getting rid of, so I feel like I did better than I thought I would. I mean, that's a good amount of brushes for being a eye brush hoarder. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, So I'm getting rid of 25 eye brushes. And I'm keeping all these. If you saw something in the pile, like at the beginning of the movie, or at the beginning of the video that you never saw me address, it was probably in the section that I forgot that it wasn't recording, or I didn't realize that it stopped recording. So if you wanna ask me down below, I can let you know what brush that was. I feel really bad that part of my eye brush collection was not recorded, but I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry, but that's it.